of the Bible. Peter walks on water. This is Peter.
Hey-o! Whoop!
Peter was a fisherman who was called by Jesus.
Hey!
Peter saw the many miracles of Jesus,
Whoa!
and he heard all his teachings. Great crowds followed Jesus wherever he went. One day after Jesus had done a great miracle, he sent the disciples in a boat across the lake while he stayed and sent the people home.
See ya! Hey, Jesus!
After sending them home, Jesus went up into the hills by himself to pray. Meanwhile, the disciples were in trouble far away from land, for a strong wind had risen, and they were fighting heavy waves. About 3 o'clock in the morning, Jesus came toward them, walking on water. When the disciples saw him walking on the water, they were terrified. In their fear, they cried out, "It's a ghost!"
Hold on there.
But Jesus spoke to them at once. "Don't be afraid," he said. "Take courage. I am here." Then Peter called to him, "Lord, if it's really you, tell me to come to you walking on the water." So Jesus said, "Yes, come." So Peter went over the side of the boat
Whoa! This is awesome!
and walked on the water toward Jesus. But when he saw the strong wind and the waves,
Whoa!
he was terrified and began to sink.
Jesus, help me!
"Save me, Lord!" he shouted. Jesus immediately reached out and grabbed him. Jesus said, "You have so little faith. Why did you doubt me?" When they climbed back into the boat, the wind stopped. Then the disciples worshiped him and said, "You really are the Son of God."
You unravel me with a melody. You surround me with a song of deliverance from my enemies. Till all my fears are gone. I'm no longer a slave to fear. I am a child of God. I'm no longer a slave to fear. I am a child of God. From my mother's womb, you have chosen me. Love has called my name. I've been born again to your family. Your blood runs through my veins, and I'm no longer a slave to fear. I am a child of God, and I'm no longer a slave to fear. I am a child of God. You split the sea so we could walk right through it. My tears are drowned in perfect love. You rescued me so I could stand and say that child of God, and I'm no longer a slave to fear. I am a child of God. I'm no longer a slave to fear. I am a child of God.
When Peace Like a River. The Great Chicago Fire of 1871 proved disastrous for Horatio Spafford, a leading lawyer in that city. He had just begun to put money into real estate, and now the fire meant some of his investments were in ashes. But still he had his own home, as well as his wife and their 4 daughters, Annie, Maggie, Bessie, and Tanetta. When Anna's health took a turn for the worse, Spafford thought they would take a trip to England as therapy, and so he made arrangements on the steamer called Ville de Havre. He planned that once they would arrive, they would meet up with their good friend Dwight Moody, an evangelist who was holding services in London. But at the last minute, an issue with zoning and his properties came up because of the fire, and so he sent his family on ahead to London, planning to join them later. Then disaster struck. In the midst of the Atlantic, the Ville de Havre collided with a British vessel. It took 12 minutes for the steamer to sink, dragging 307 passengers, including the Spaffords, into the water. In the water, Anna said later, she felt her baby being knocked from her arms. Then she was knocked unconscious and then was lifted out into a rescue boat. All her 4 children were gone. Anna was only one of 81 passengers to survive when finally on land she could send her husband a cable. It began, "Saved alone, what shall I do?" A fellow survivor, Pastor Nathaniel West, later quoted Anna Spafford as saying, "God gave me 4 daughters. Now they have been taken from me. Someday I will understand why." Horatio rushed to England to be with her, and as he was crossing the Atlantic, the ship captain called him to the bridge and said, "I believe we are now passing the place where the Ville de Havre was wrecked." In those moments, Horatio said the words of a verse came to his heart and mind. Spafford composed the beloved Protestant hymn, "It is well with my soul." And his friend Philip Bliss wrote the music. Horatio said that although they were passing over the spot where his children went down into the ocean that was 3 miles deep, he thought of them as safe, folded, and dear lambs. Spafford dug deep to hold on to a faith that empowered him to say, "Whatever the lot," a part of the song. The couple gave birth to 3 children after the sinking of the steamer, but one of these children, their only boy, died of scarlet fever. After this tragedy, the Spaffords felt lost and decided to move to Jerusalem with a small group of believers who were founding a group called the American Colony. Its mission was to serve the poor, and while there, the Spaffords adopted a teenage boy. 7 years later, though, Spafford died of malaria, but his family continued to serve and live in Jerusalem. His legacy is through his children and his wife, as they all continued the work that he had started. It was a group of soup kitchens, hospitals, and orphanages that all assisted people during the World War I and World War II.
When peace like a river attendeth my way, It is well with my soul. It is well, it is well with my soul. Though Satan should buffet, though trials should come, let this blessed assurance control that Christ hath regarded my helpless estate and hath shed his own blood for my soul. It is well with my soul. It is well, it is well with my soul. My sin know the bliss of this glorious thought. My sin not in part, but the whole is nailed to his cross, and I bear it no more. Praise the Lord, praise the Lord, oh my soul. It is well with my soul. It is well, it is well with my soul. And Lord, haste the day when my faith shall be sight, the clouds be rolled back as a scroll, the trump shall resound, and the Lord shall descend. Even so, it is well with my soul. It is well with my soul.